Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Murrow Minutes Goes Virtual for the Fall 2020 semester. My name is Mackenzie and I'm the recruitment coordinator for the Murrow College, and today we are super excited to talk to you about different career opportunities that you have within the Murrow College. Today we have awesome guest speakers here with you to talk about how to prepare for things like career fairs, how to build your resume, really how to develop the things that you need to be successful. And we also have student ambassadors here to talk about what their experiences have been like with internships and jobs with our majors in communication. So let's go ahead and jump in. I do want to give our guest speakers plenty of time to talk to you. So our first guest speaker is going to be Angela Schweigert, who is the professional development coordinator for the Murrow College. And she's going to talk to you and give you some tips and tricks about how to be successful and how to prepare during this virtual time during COVID and how to keep going and persevering through this time. So Angela, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you. And then after that, we'll get some ambassadors to answer some questions.
Okay, today we're going to be talking about professional development and how to prepare for the virtual career fair. It's a little bit different than last year, resume and networking tips, and just how to keep going, as Mackenzie was saying, during COVID. So we'll start it. Okay, so the virtual career fair or expo is actually October 5th, 6th, and 7th. It's coming right up. It's a great opportunity to connect with employers on a virtual space and really encourage you to register. And I have some tips on doing all this. So we'll continue on. So when you prepare for this, you really need to complete and update your handshake profile. So recruiters are using that specifically to find students to invite to their sessions. And you can set your privacy, the setting to community, so other students, employers can view your profile, and you're making your resume public. Making sure you've updated it with your graduation date, school year, and your major. You can also select the job types and locations and roles, and of course you want to add your skills. So you really want to work on getting that ready if you're going to attend the virtual career expo. Preparation, you need to register for the event. So easy to register. You go to the Academic Success and Career Center website. There's a handy little video that goes along with that for registering. And once you do that, it's really easy to research the employers you're interested in visiting with. You can check out their company websites. Really encourage you to do that on your own. Really trying to find more information about this employer because it will be on a virtual level, so you will have face-to-face contact with them and you want to know a little bit about them. Preparing a pitch is really important to do this, particularly again in a virtual setting where you're not going to have a lot of distractions, a lot of students around you, a lot of interactions going on. So this is a really good time to work on that. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Okay, so the day of the expo. Expo tips, dress professionally. I know this is virtual and it's easy to think of the sweatsuit mode or whatever that is, but dress as if you're going to meet with them in person. Find a quiet space, a neutral background, not a lot of busyness behind you. You're treating it as a professional setting. You want to arrive on time. You don't want to be showing up late for that. You want to make a good impression with the employer. Okay. Maintaining eye contact is really important. Practice active listening, making a connection with the employer is really valuable. Asking questions, making sure you have a list of questions related to the company, the employer, things that could really help make a connection with them and also give you more information. So here's some examples, how you would describe the company's culture, what would a typical day look like? Could you explain your team's dynamics? What kind of opportunities does the company offer when it comes to career growth? Just really trying to be prepared when you talk with them. That really makes a good impression with the employer. After the expo, you should certainly view and apply to any open jobs or internships that company may be offering by making that connection. Maybe they don't have something right now, but they might have something in the future. Follow them on LinkedIn is another really good tip. You can make comments when you follow them. You can also message the person that you talk to if you connect with them to say, thank you for taking the time to talk with me. Crafting a pitch is really valuable. Again, this is a virtual meeting and you will have their undivided attention. So this is a great time to think about what you want to say to them about yourself. So a pitch is being able to communicate your key skills and competencies, and it really connects with the employer. So you want to develop a pitch that makes a difference. How are you different? How you're memorable? 30 seconds or less, 75 words or less, and you don't want to be rambling on, okay? So this is just some ideas for a pitch. You want to say who you are, your name, a little bit of background about yourself, your major, when you plan to graduate, what college you're in at WSU. You want to make the connection. Remember, you're talking to someone, you're not just reciting information. Why do you want this person to listen? So I had worked with a student, and this is kind of some of this is made up here, but they had watched this TV station daily, their news broadcast daily since they've been a little kid, right? And they always admired this station, and they liked how they did the reporting. They also had researched on their own different technology they were using for editing. And so they brought that up with the employer, which was really impressive to the employer. And then that person asked to see if there was additional internships that might be going on and if there's any opportunities. Well, by making that connection, they were able to get yet another internship for this past summer, which they actually did. So another thing is when you make the ask, be direct, be able to say, okay, who could I inquire about this possibility? Is there another person, or is this the person you're talking to, the one you want to talk with? Close out, make sure you're thanking them for the time. And then of course, if they have given you a person to talk with, make sure you follow up and visit with them as well. So we're moving on to resumes. The purpose of a resume, sometimes students have trouble figuring out what a resume is about and how this can help them land a job. So the purpose of the resume is to communicate your value and capabilities at a glance, and that's the key, at a glance. It's not a rambling document. It's concise and accurate, and it really showcases your skill set. It's your advertisement. Think of it as your personal marketing tool. It summarizes your education, experience, and accomplishments. Parts of a resume here, pretty basic. The name, education, experience, summary. You can have a summary or a summary of qualifications at the top to really showcase what you know or your expertise. Skills are really important to have on your resume. Employers tend to want to look at a skill set list when they glance at resumes. So we talk about skills, really reflecting on your experiences. That's how you get your skills, whether it's coursework, participating in organizations, doing internships. Adding the skill section to the top is really valuable on your resume. So we wonder what skills employers are looking for in job candidates right now. Well, the National Association of Colleges Employers determined 8 competencies that are really valuable after talking with employers. And these are the ones we're pushing students in the Murrow College of Communication to really work toward. Oral and written communication, critical thinking and problem solving, digital technology, teamwork and collaboration, global intercultural fluency, professionalism, work ethic, leadership, and being able to manage your career opportunities. So these are something that working toward these skill sets can really make you stand out from the crowd with your resume. So getting started or updating your resume, again, taking an inventory of your skills and accomplishments. What have you done? And that's what college is about, doing things in addition to your coursework. I can't stress enough the internship or the extracurricular opportunities, student groups, even volunteer work is really valuable for your resume. What makes you stand out from the crowd is asking yourself, what did you do in these experiences that solved the problem, increased something, accomplished something no one else has done, created new and efficient ways of completing a task? Did you demonstrate leadership skills? And the big one that's coming up right now is what did you do during COVID to enhance or develop your skill set? That's a really big one. That can really set you apart from someone that didn't do anything during this time. While it's been challenging, you really develop a lot of good skills from dealing with working remote, having to solve problems in an independent fashion, working with supervisors in a virtual setting. Resumes should be tailored to the job you're applying for. Master resumes are great, but then when you find a job, you should tailor it toward that job description. So using keywords, industry language, action verbs that reflect your skill set and how you would match the job. Basic elements of a resume, bulleted points, easy to read. You want to quantify things often, how much, how often, how you increase something. I mentioned that earlier. Begin each phrase with an action verb. That can really help set you apart from someone else. A branding statement is something you can think about that's similar to a pitch. but it's something that you could add to your resume or a summary of qualifications. Branding statements describe your key strengths, your desired title of what you want to do, and one or two of your accomplishments. Thinking about branding is really valuable when you're having a discussion with your employer and, of course, on your resume. Branding statements can vary. This is an example about this student. He's seeking a summer internship to apply his experiences assisting the company's branding needs through social media outreach, developing marketing plans, and digital marketing. So he's talking about his experiences and what he wants to do. And that's an example of a branding statement. Summary of qualifications. This is an example. This person has actually listed their skill set and their strengths, and that's showcased at the top. And that's very valuable to have. A summary of qualifications shows what they can at a glance to an employer, what their skill set really is. This is a basic resume here. As you notice, academic projects is listed there, and that is actually relevant experience. So they took a class, that person took a class, and you can put the class title there and then put bulleted points of what you did. And that's really valuable because it's relevant to your education and your skill set. Another resume here example, you can see their professional skills, personal skills offered, the professional skills, marketing, web content development. They have copywriting, social media strategy, really easy for an employer to read. Another resume here, they have a profile. They have also used some pretty good action verbs to describe their experience and quantified things. So on there, she has closed $1 million deal using Microsoft Azure. So valuable experiences. This person has more of a summary specifically to a scientific sort of communication position. And then they have core competencies that they feel that they're really strong in. This person, again, listed her skill set toward the top, including soft and hard skills and a personal profile. Final tips when you look at your resume, think of it as if you were the person doing the hiring. So sometimes letting it sit a few days and then going back to it. Make sure your online tools are updated, Handshake, LinkedIn. Review your social media through the eyes of a future employer to make sure it's appropriate. And keeping your resume, your social media, if you have an online portfolio, business cards, all consistent with personal brands. So if you use color or certain fonts or design on your resume, make sure it's all consistent. Okay. Moving on to networking. Networking is really important here during COVID times. So sometimes we feel it might be harder, but in the long run, actually, it might be a little bit easier because there's a lot of more virtual opportunities. So again, the WSU Career Expo is a great way to get involved. We're having the wonderful Murrow virtual coaching coming up with actually alumni willing to visit with students individually for career coaching. So really take advantage of that. That's coming up October 6th and 7th. So do register for that. Network with any professionals, network with participants in your groups or organizations can be valuable as well. So with LinkedIn, great way to network, reconnect with your LinkedIn contacts. So asking them advice, checking in with them, getting their feedback on, COVID job search and internship searches is really valuable during this time. Again, follow a company or organization, make connections. A couple students I just recently talked to have done informational interviews with actual newspaper and then with a PR agency to find out more about what they do. Now they made a connection, they've connected with that person on LinkedIn, and they're going to connect with them again for a summer internship. One thing to remember here is flexibility during COVID. Remembering that things are not as they were before. Consider pivoting. If a job or internship comes open and it's not exactly what you want, but it's somewhat in line, it's okay to pivot for a while to go to that. One student did an internship. She had one lined up this summer and it was canceled for journalism. She pivoted to doing a PR internship where she was writing content for the website, writing feature stories, doing a lot more writing than she thought. And that was really valuable for her, plus doing some social media. So pivoting is a really good strategy. Reframing how you approach your job search, again, maybe reaching out to employers more to contact them, being flexible about what you can do. That's really valuable during COVID. A listing of job and internship resources. I certainly can visit with you about that as well, but we have a lot. WSU Handshake, we post jobs on Murrow Jobs Facebook. I have a weekly classified newsletter that comes out with professional development tips and postings. Great way to check out what's out there. LinkedIn, job boards, state government job listings. Parker Dewey has micro internships available, and that's another resource to the Academic Success and Career Center. Chegg internships and Cove internships are basically remote internships. So a lot of opportunities out there. Again, going back to the Career Expo piece, during a virtual meeting with an employer, have confidence, enthusiasm, smile, make eye contact, and really be yourself. That's my tips. I'm here to assist. So if you have any questions, you want to meet for resumes, cover letters, career goals, just please contact me and email me. We can make an appointment. Thanks for your time.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing all of that awesome information with us, Angela. I was just going to highlight again that all Murrow students can make an appointment with Angela to review all of this, even before, during, or after all of this virtual career expos and virtual coaching sessions that we have coming up in early October. I think Angela mentioned October 5th, 6th, and 7th for the virtual career expo, which kind of includes all majors on the WSU campus, but most industries need people in communication, right? Even our engineers, our STEM majors, our teachers, our educators, they all need people in communication. So I encourage all of our students to attend the virtual career expo, but more specifically, like Angela said, on the 6th and 7th, Murrow will have virtual career coaching with Murrow alumni and employers specifically. You do need to sign up for that. You should have received an email as well as Blackboard announcements from your advisors about that. So we highly, highly encourage you guys to take advantage of those opportunities. They're here for you. And like Angela said, it looks different with COVID, but you can't not do it just because of COVID, right? You still need that experience. You still need to build your resume and just pivot. Like Angela said, it's just going to look a little bit different, and that's okay. So hopefully you take advantage of those awesome opportunities that she mentioned. And again, Angela, we appreciate all of that awesome information. So to tag along with Angela's pieces that she mentioned today, we do have 3 student ambassadors here with us to kind of talk about their experiences in the field. So we have Gabby, Madison, and Mindy here with us today. And kind of similar to the other Murrow Minutes episodes, I'm going to go through and ask them some questions, just what their experiences were like, where they worked, what they did, and kind of what they're looking forward to or expecting during this COVID time as well. So again, I'll kind of let them introduce themselves a little bit, but I think we'll go ahead and jump in with the first question. And Gabby, I'll turn it over to you first. So do you maybe want to talk about a recent job or internship experience that you had and kind of how you found it?
Hi, so yeah, I'm Gabby. I'm currently the web and marketing coordinator for WSU Center for Entrepreneurial Studies. And I found that job through Murrow Jobs on Facebook. Yeah, so Angela posts jobs there, and it's a great place to find something if you're in search of a job or an internship. So yeah.
Great. Madison, how about you? Do you want to share an awesome internship or job experience that you had and how you found it?
Yeah, so I currently work for the Modernization Initiative, which is helping to implement this finance and human resources software. I'm on their communications team, and I've been working remote since March for the team. I found it through Handshake. I was just scrolling through, and I wanted to get more like public relations and communication experience in addition to stuff that I've been doing with the newspaper. So yeah.
Great, that's awesome. Mindy, how about you? We'll kind of get your internship or job experience, and then we'll jump into some more questions. So do you want to share with us things that you've been doing?
Yeah, so I'm currently the copy chief at the Daily Evergreen, which is the WSU student paper. And last semester, I was the arts and culture section editor. When I first went to apply for that job and just be a reporter, I found the application on Handshake. I actually found it after it closed, so I had to just email someone in the Office of Student Media, but they got me set up there.
Fantastic. So as you guys can see, our ambassadors have experience kind of all over the board. Our journalism students as well, our communication and technology students, but it can vary from on campus to off campus to virtual to in person. So I'm really excited to get to ask them some questions about what that experience has been like. So Gabby, I'm going to turn it back over to you. And my question is, what made you want to apply for that experience? Was it that the job description really looked great? Was it where you found it? I mean, what really appealed to you about the job?
So for me, I had been on the hunt for general marketing positions for a while. And then when I found that specific job posting, the web piece really interested me because my minor is in web design. So I thought that that could be really applicable. And so far it has, and I've learned a lot, even more than I have in class. It's really taken that a step further.
Great. How about you, Madison?
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, I really wanted to learn more about like the public relations side of communication, and so this job like fit all of the boxes that I was looking for. So I've been able to learn more about blog writing and um, tailoring emails and using like MailChimp and using all these other products that I wouldn't have been able to use otherwise. So yeah.
How about you, Mindy?
Yeah, so I applied toward the end of my sophomore year when I just switched my major over into communication, multimedia journalism, and advertising specifically. I wanted to get experience writing and reporting, and it just seemed like a really good place to start, and it has been.
Great. I love hearing all of that. I love hearing how it kind of appealed to all of you guys and how you kind of jumped in to say, hey, you know what, this is going to add to my classroom experience, but also to my resume and just those professional tools that I'll always have. So that's great. So once you applied for the job, you found the job, it was interesting, maybe you applied, you found out you know, were going to get hired, or they, you know, you can start in 2 weeks. So what did you guys do to prepare for those experiences? Was there anything specifically that you did in order to get ready to jump into something like that? And Gabby, Madison, Mindy, I'll turn it back over to you guys.
So for me, I actually refreshed with one of my classes. My teacher still had videos posted on just general web design information. And I knew that I needed a refresher since I had taken the class a few semesters before this job. So just to get refreshed on your education, honestly.
Yeah, so when I was hired, they had a lot of training for me, and I asked a bunch of questions about what they expected, and just like getting their expectations was a big thing for me because I wanted to make sure that I was doing everything they wanted me to do. Um, but yeah, they did a lot of training in house, so that was nice.
Yeah, so my every semester at the Evergreen has been different, but just starting out as a basic reporter, I was enrolled in Com 300 at the time. So I was learning all the basic rules of journalism and EP style, and they did a really good job training me, both Com 300 and the Evergreen. Any question I had, they were willing to answer. A lot of my training came from just working and like the experience there. So I think probably the best things to prepare yourself for that or show up with, you know, prior to starting, just be passionate, be like willing to work because the more you work, the more rewarding the work is.
Great answers from all of our ambassadors today. I love that. So you figured out what you wanted to apply for, you got prepared and maybe got hired at the same time as you were kind of prepping for it. And then you went through the experience. Maybe a lot of you are still going through, you're still the, you know, coordinators in these positions, you're still working for the Daily Evergreen. But ultimately, Mindy kind of went into it a little bit, but can you guys kind of talk about why so far or eventually, you know, that experience has been valuable to you, whether it is, oh, it's building my resume, it's teaching me these skills, or hey, I'm networking in the field. So I'm going to turn it back over to you guys. Maybe talk about why you think that experience is or will be valuable to you.
So for me, I have had some internships prior, but this coordinator position, it's a lot of responsibility, and my bosses make sure to give me room to grow and to learn. And so I think that that's the most valuable thing, is that sometimes it can be intimidating because everyone is scared of failure, but that is also where you learn. So, yeah.
Yeah, I really like this experience because I've been able to work directly with, I've been only working with professionals that have a lot of experience in the communication field, and they have taught me a lot about what you should and shouldn't do when crafting a message. And I think that it's been great just to learn directly from professionals, and they have told me that they are always open to be my mentor even after I graduate. So, yeah.
Yeah, so my time with the Evergreen has helped me in so many ways. It's made me a better writer and a better reporter, but it's also given me a lot of leadership experience and experience with Adobe programs like InDesign. And all these things come in handy when I apply for internships or when I go to apply for post-graduation jobs.
Great. I love hearing all of that. And all of you guys kind of talked about the examples that I gave where, I have mentors that I can network with from here on out. I'm gaining the skills that I need in order to, advance in that career path. And so I love hearing that those experiences have been valuable. And I think Angela and I both love hearing that you found them, kind of within Murrow, whether it was Handshake, whether it was our Facebook page, whether it was, the opportunities that we offer to students like the Daily Evergreen. So I think that's great that we were able to kind of help you guys along the way. But like you guys have said, it really is more about you identifying that you want something and then going out and looking for it, kind of scrolling through, constantly refreshing those pages and seeing if there's something that you're interested in. Because as much as we want to, we can't hand you those opportunities. But if you tell us that you're interested, we'll definitely get you on the right path. So that is absolutely fantastic. One last question for our ambassadors here today. And again, you guys kind of already hit on it a little bit, but if you had any pieces of advice to give to students who are looking for a job or internship experience, either while they're still in school or while they're getting ready to graduate. I know we have a couple people that are getting ready to graduate here. What tips or tricks do you like, kind of last minute tips or tricks would you guys share with them? And Gabby, I'll turn it back over to you.
So I feel that a lot of students, including myself, when you get to a job posting, you see a huge list of qualifications and you can get pretty intimidated, and that may turn off some people from not applying. But the biggest piece of advice that I've ever gotten is that no one hits all the boxes. It's okay if you don't hit every single check mark. Don't let that discourage you from applying, because you honestly never know what's going to happen. So if you find a job that you feel like you're a good fit for, just apply.
Yeah, that's almost exactly what I was gonna say. I'll just add that even if um, even if it's not directly related to your major, might as well apply. You never know, like it could be a great experience. Just like how I'm not a PR major, but I'm doing this internship, and yeah, just you can expand your horizons.
My advice is just to look for something that will help you grow and develop skills in areas you want to be more skilled in. And just like Gabby and Madison said, don't be scared if the job or internship description lists tasks you've never done or programs you've never worked with, because like you're still young, we're all still learning. So don't be scared to apply for things you may not be 100% qualified for, because just like Gabby said, no one's 100% qualified for all the things they apply for.
Great advice from all of our ambassadors. Thank you guys so much for sharing that. When I would meet with students, not necessarily about careers, but just about things that they were interested in doing, you guys are absolutely right. A lot of times people were discouraged because they hadn't done something before. They didn't really know what to expect. But that definitely shouldn't kind of shy you away from giving it a try and kind of jumping in with both feet and saying, you know what, I'm ready to learn something new. And kind of not being afraid to fail is what I'm kind of hearing you guys say too. Like, you may not know what you're doing on the first day, but you'll learn, and you'll always be able to add that skill to your toolbox. So I think that's great advice from you guys. And we really, really appreciate you sharing those experiences with us. We are going to go ahead and just close out this video with a few last reminders, and then as well, we'll kind of post some resource information as well for you. But really, ultimately, what we want to encourage you guys to do is to attend the virtual career expo and attend the virtual coaching sessions that we have within the Murrow College. Even if you're a first year student or you're a transfer student, this is your first semester, we highly, highly encourage you to attend, because it's never too early to start building your network. And it's never too early to jump in and try these experiences. So this is a free opportunity for you as a student, so we encourage you to take advantage. If it's a little overwhelming, feel free to meet with Angela first. She'll help prepare you, kind of give you that confidence that you need in order to be successful. If meeting with Angela is even too intimidating, our ambassadors also have drop-in hours on Wednesdays from 3 to 5. So you can talk with Madison or Mindy or Gabby or Katie or any of our awesome ambassadors about their experiences to see if they kind of have some tips and advice before you meet with Angela and then before you go to the virtual career expo. So we're here to help. We want to get you on that path to having a great career or an internship experience while you're here with us, but just got to reach out and let us know what you want to do. And like I said, we'll get you on that path. So thank you so much for joining us today. We really look forward to talking with you during our next Murrow Minutes Goes Virtual episode about studying abroad and what that looks like during COVID. So stay tuned for that. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and close out by saying, as always, Cougs, stay safe, stay healthy, and go Cougs.